as it seems like Yangon Galacticos, they were the ones to trill on the Purple Hearts.
I mean, this is going to be just on the outskirts of Tuling and Danching's area. But for YG, they managed to triumph for now. And they still have one more player around that corner too. So I don't know how No Fear will get out of this. So probably won't. And I like this infos. So it's random. And that's making it even harder for the players, right? Because you don't know which flight path you're taking as well. But for YG, Hora, last member, will be discovered. But it's down to only 1 HP left.
Wow.
Oh, this is gonna be tough.
Very tough, but he's trading right back though. So dangerous for either one. Master Smile just pins him down. He does get the headshot, and that secures it for Yangon Galacticos. A rough start for Hora Esports as they walk away with no points, but this is still the very first game, so I guess it's a little warm-up for these teams, hot-dropping each other to contest for the spot. Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, Danching area is also very tricky to play around because right now, I mean, this is quite a residential area. There's so many apartments, so they have to actually clear all the corners down there. And what I love about this map is, even though despite it has so many structures, right, but it's not something that, you know, if you remember back in the days, like when Vikendi was still there.
7 elements, excuse me, are R3G, as well as the rest of Yangon Galacticos, they will now need to move into the vicinity. I think that somebody's going to try to swim across, and that might just be Roshan. But YG, they can actually push downwards to challenge that spot where Void Donkey is currently at.
I'm surprised Void Donkey still have so many of their players, despite we saw how brutally they will be engaged by the other teams before. But on the side of YG, they still have a full squad. We just mentioned about Void Donkey, they barely have enough cover here. The only thing that they can cover themselves with is kind of that Pico Buzz, and thankfully they drop themselves couple of barricades, emergency barricades flat that call on 4 blocks to get themselves some covers. But will it actually help for Void Donkey here?
At least it buys a little bit more time as well as space, because there is that pressure coming from R3G's very own Roshan. So Roshan, and hoping that at least it gets them just about enough cover before the rest of YG pushes through. So I think the big threat right now is definitely going to be Yangon Galacticos, because Void Donkey, they just couldn't afford to actually peek upwards, because it will be very, very difficult for them to eventually do much with. Emergency cover flare, as you can see on the screen, it just gives you a little bit more of all these stuff that you can get coming from the store, and of course you can put into good use. So Void Donkey, they definitely came in with a plan.
I just hope there's an EMP zone suddenly pop in the middle of the circle here right now. So nobody can actually use their scope anymore at this point. YG pushing in, going straight for Void Donkey. So it's only between these two teams. YG do have the upper hand when it comes to their resources as well, their manpower. But Void Donkey has been very smart when it comes to how they try to maneuver and outplay YG, playing around the slopes with so many little barricade and little structures, using their vehicles and also the emergency barricade flare just now. But unfortunately, when it comes to manpower, YG still have it better.
Yeah, they're just fighting tooth and nail just to try to flush them out. Razak as well as Vexy left over onto the corner. Razak now goes for a jump shot, but not quite enough. Vexy covers fire with that AUG to try to take out the rest of Yangon Galacticos, but they go down, and Yangon Galacticos, the champions of the PMCL, will now take a first chicken dinner here in Rondo.
Now, I do want to tell you up the scores, because the scores will matter so much in PMRC since we have this match rule at the benchmark of 30 points here. I think probably they're going to have around like, what, 10 points for chicken dinner plus elimination-wise. If you compare them with Void Donkey, I do believe that Void Donkey do slightly have just a bit more elimination, or maybe YG will surprise us, who knows?
Yeah, I really want to take a look. The last time we saw YG over on the top side of the hill, they were taking on titans like BTR in order to make their cut, and BTR themselves also have plenty of elimination points. And speaking of which, we finally get our...
How big Rondo is control. We can see 46,000 of distance when it comes to 7th element. But Manet, Small, Romeo, and Say Cloud, there's no strangers for us anymore.
To take out Hora Esports. It takes a purple team to take another purple team on, and it seems like Norman Boy became the MVP of the match, but I would definitely say it has been a big team effort 433 damage and 4 elimination points. That's a hefty number coming.
Everybody actually dish out almost equal amount of damage. But let's relive the highlight for a bit. How they actually make it the chicken and closing up the gap to be one of the very close to eligible points benchmark team when it comes to Smash Bros.
Yeah, starting off on the high note, we saw so many actions taking place over onto the open field terrains where even D plus Kill was chasing onto teams. Well, we had a little bit of an awkward scenario between DRS as well as Vampire Esports over the Kill side. And then, Boing Donkey, it's been spectacular in how they've been able to keep calling in those emergency covers for them to play out all these battles and eventually overwhelm VPE as well as RNG.
There's battle everywhere. I mean, like, even during the first stage, when we just dropped from that double flight path, everybody already stopped fighting. But we don't see anybody being respawned yet, right? There's nobody actually call on the recall tower. But this is where things get really messy. So we can assume that no matter where the circle will be, Task Track, Neox Factory, I put one more name in there, Yulin. This 3 spots is going to be one of the hottest spots, and they are very close to each other as well.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that happening later on. It's going to be a circle that directs them into some of all these hot spots. But this altercation that we've gotten inside of match 1, it was so technical. We saw how difficult the terrain was, where YG really had to seek out all the members of Boing Donkey. It was a very close call on how that battle actually went, and YG came up on top and secures himself that 20-pointer, and following closely definitely has to be Boing Donkey with that 12. Lot of time to navigate around, so understandably so that both Semline as well as CD Alliance, they're not really gonna be going for a full-on chase up against one another, especially with CD Alliance having one member down. And back towards what you also pointed out, the diversity,
some sort of markings on top of their the board on the right side. But I love this resort, by the way. This resort, there's so many residential areas, but unfortunately
that's a little bit wasted opportunity, but he does have the help coming in from D Savior. BTR, despite getting that 7 elimination, they got taken down a little too early, and now the nades are falling in. Noble, it's not done just yet.
Oh, he might get flushed out by the rest of these Xaviers. It's 3v1, but if Noble clutches one, he got one already. Wait a minute! He can actually do it! It's a 3v1! And this is World Champions, by the way. At what level and high quality play that was. But the rest of DK is nowhere near to save him. Lamborghini drop a big one. Return the favor back on Noble, and that finished him off straight away. But hey, for the rest of DK, they still can revive their teammate. And Fabian did not waste any time at all and just go straight to. Did he want to actually score that benchmark smash rule point? So if they're eligible after this map, I mean, if they score another 10 points without the chicken, it's still gonna be a-okay because they still have a full squad.
Yeah, like overall, they can play the waiting game and then play towards stage 7 onwards if they can actually make it to stage 7, of course. Meanwhile, on the outskirts, it's gonna be Horror Esports as they will take on some of the members of Boing Donkey. And they managed to just bring them all down. Boing Donkey, they did go for the recall early on. And this is not going to be a clear call because D plus Kia has also arrived on the outskirts. And on the other side, A1 Esports.
Oh, no. I do hope Hora do have the emergency barricade flare though. They need this so bad right now. How to drive this thing? It's not going to work anymore. Hora coming in all of nowhere. Coming up from long shot. And that's gonna be Southcom DG Alliance hit by Karma straight in the face. I don't know if there's any recall tower in this very small circle now, Contra.
Not at all. Not within sight, as we can see from the minimap. But Jimmy, he's still doing the damage. And instead, he crashes out the rest of Boing Donkey. He's a miracle worker, I tell you, and he's got that JES-9, and it's only 11 extra bullets. He's utilized everything on the line to keep the chances afloat for Cellcom Digi Alliance.
Don't forget, YG is still well and alive. They already at 23 points. We don't even add those position rankings yet. But for Hora, spotted out 7-9. Yuhai's down on the ground. D Xavier's neck. Lamborghini cooking up the nade. Trying to toss over to the side of D plus here. And they will receive it on the side of Osal. He chipped down to 50% of HP left. And this is gonna be tough. They are neighbors, but none of them actually anywhere inside of a circle. Yet they have to deal with this, and it's a three-way war.
Yeah, they're not allowing each other to actually budge, so I guess they just gotta scrap until somebody falters, and that somebody is Noble! What a toss coming out of Lambo. And Chips, he's gonna be on the mark, but he does not actually receive any form of reprieve because Chips, he cannot afford to even step out of the building at this moment. Osel, he's buying enough time. He does get the save. B plus Kia, they still have 3 healthy members at least.
They already recalled once for Nobu just now, so they can't recall anymore when it comes to the tower recalls on the side of the Plaska. There's only one chance for them, but they will leave Chips behind to be the bait for the Xaviers while they reposition himself on the flank side. I love that off-angle reposition on the side of D Plaska, but next is gonna be grenade galore on the side of Hora. They're being ambushed, and that's gonna be heavy incendiary units flying over the side of Hora, and they have to just pinch it out all the way through the containers, but Seikla YG is on the move.
Yeah, they're closing whatever gap that there is. Hora slowly getting hunted down. Nova goes down on the ground, and even Dingo Savior goes out of this match. We might actually see YG get 2 chicken dinners back-to-back in this round.
Oh, but the chicken will not actually finish the game yet, but they definitely already beyond surpassed the bench point of Smash Rule eligible points by now. Noble still scattered, also been taken down by YG. Man, what precision, crispy a spray that works. The Noble trying to do some damage control. Saycloud have been taken over by Noble, but the rest of YG know exactly where he's at, and that's gonna be chicken dinner back-to-back. YG, if they scored a hat-trick chicken dinner, that's it for our BMRC. It's just YG.
It might just be a full dominance out of Yangon Galacticos. Myanmar rises over the top as these champions from the PMCL has been able to take 2 back-to-back wins. It says, tell you what, Romeo, you can take a break because Say Cloud's got their back.
They got themselves 100% already over to the point bench. For the next chicken, there's still a shot for any team.
Really good opportunity to actually close up this matchup, but despite those 9 elimination points, they did not have enough firepower because the rest of the Savior was holding them down.
And not just that, the moment Noble got separated from the rest of the team, and Saycloud exactly now where
he definitely should actually get the MVP once more, but it has been Saycloud that actually contributed a whole lot in this match with 6 elimination points. He gets denied, but hey, Renee, he definitely can.
I think just now the MVP was Romeo Monday. I mean, he should get this MVP, right?
Yeah, and overall it seems like Point Donkey has been having a very rough start where they have been chased over by some of these members of Cellcom DG Alliance as well in the early game. But you could say the same. Cellcom DG Alliance, they tried to go for the revive point, and eventually with 2 of them going for the recall, it became a little bit of a tough situation. And then this compound that was held by a majority of all these players out there seemed to be pretty much hightailing out of that situation, and somehow it was only down to Jimmy by the course of that run to be holding down the line for Cellcom DG Alliance. So it has been a fruitful day out for some of these teams out there, but of course it's far from over. YG though, this is a massive 21 points that they've gained in this round.
I don't know how he hides himself so well, but on the start of him,
that concludes our run inside of round 2 in this Rondo Cup, and the next round might actually be the turning point for the rest of the team because they got to start realizing that all of these matches will actually be concluded if Yangon Galacticos gets another one in the bag.
duper difficult for them to secure that one last chicken dinner that will mean the entirety of the PMRC. But we cannot oversee that the fact that D plus Kia is actually might catching up when it comes to the overall points later on. So we're gonna have to wait and see for the overall rankings.
Is there going to be enough time for the rest of the pack to do so? Yangon Galacticos now 41 points, 2 chicken dinners. They look almost unstoppable, but I think they definitely will need to defend their very dear lives because everyone else in the lobby don't want the night to end this way.
No more maps to go for Horror. If not, they're probably going to secure the trophy as well. But still, what a great ending with 20 eliminations for our finale just now. On the side of RNG, they go all gun blazing. The only team without any placement, but with double digit up there. That's something else as well.
Yeah, can you imagine if Hora has gotten this chicken dinner way early on? This is just immediately delivering them that eligibility within that one round. But of course, they had their fair share of struggle. They activated rather late, but it's been a fancy ride for some of these guys. Hora Esports, they moved all the way to the top 2 with this 30-point round. So it's a big win, and Yangon Galacticos are your grand champions of the PUBG Mobile Regional Clash Rondo Cup.
Congratulations on the side of YG. That was a big win for them. I'm looking forward for what they have to say later on, but for YG, that was really a nail-biting moment. The moment that they lost the entire crew, being eliminated quite early and leaving the fate in the hands of the players and the team that's not eligible for the points before. Oh man, that was so close, but at the same time for the others, I love Smash Roll, but it's just so dang close, man.
It is way too close for comfort. Yangon Galacticos will